everybody, this is Mustin Steve. We've got some cool stuff happening. We've got founder, we've got my main man, Sekou, Kitboys Club.
In the building. We in the
Up.
building, man. How's it going?
Come on, man. It's an amazing day. You're making super moves. You've got major partners, brand partnerships, which many creators hope to have something global like this. When you think about Atlanta, how often it being spotlighted in the narrative, what role do you believe the city plays in shaping the future of American soccer and especially Black youth and creatives?
Absolutely. So I think, first and foremost, Atlanta's always been a hub of Black culture, first and foremost, from the get-go. I think for us, if you look at across the spectrum, definitely in the sport, like I come from the sporting side of it too. So a lot of our talent's always been there. It's just always been like either a lack of resources or a lack of a way out. Again, I think from the brand side of things, we took that underdog mentality that Atlanta always has. We always feel like we're number two, but we really should be number one. You carry that with you and then you kind of push that to the forefront and really, allow yourself to push your boundaries a bit. So I think for me, we take the swag, we take the ethos, we take, just the culture of the city in terms of, again, it's a hub for Black excellence as it stands all the way from civil rights to sports, you name it. It's always been there. We take that with us, even if you look at, again, a lot of the club in which it's built from is like a lot of the same Black youth I played with growing up in the game of soccer. And we just kind of banded together and said, we're going to find our own way. And that's the Atlanta spirit, you know what I'm saying, from that perspective.
I love it. And then, you managed to be number one on the Billboard anyhow. So obviously
There we go.
moving to the scoreboard.
Hmm.
Shout out to ATL. But partnership with Adidas, this grant, this whole idea, how does that empower you, a cultural creator, and, Black soccer players?
Yeah, for sure. I think it just empowers a conduit. Again, from our standpoint, we're representative of our culture, especially Black culture here in the city. And I think a lot of the time something either lacks resources, again, infrastructure, or again, one of the two. I think for us, we've done a really good job of building that infrastructure. Again, finding cultural ways to bring more Black people into the sport and find love through it, like whether it be through sneakers and fashion, whether it be through music, the music side of things, whether it be through entertainment. We kind of use that as like, again, cultural adjacent kind of marketing efforts to kind of, hey, what I'm saying? You can find some love in here. Come follow us. You know what I'm saying? Come join us. You can find some love in it. And I think for us, it's like we just needed a small megaphone to make sure we just putting that on a broader scope and kind of expand. I think ultimately too, we need a lot more impact on the grassroots level, regardless of the industry you're from. And again, our ethos from the day one is to again find ways to impact our grassroots but sustainably. And we just lack the resources to do so. So again, they just kind of been an effort to be in a conduit to what we are. And then again, for a conduit for us, what we are to the city. And a lot of the Black youth ballers, whether they, still playing days or if they're in the creative industry of it. So
When you think about the whole idea, you built this intersection of collaboration, a cultural movement, and we think about those ideas. Why carry a message to a community? Why is, being that bastion, and obviously from ATL have been great messages from I Have a Dream, literally,
100.
somebody from Atlanta, but now you've created this voice and this message. How are you influencing with this voice how you see the next generation being able to be inspired by what you do?
Yeah, I think it's honestly the latter, man. I think every step of the way you need a proof of concept to see what the boundary is and how you push beyond it. I think that's our biggest, ethos as a brand. It's like we only knew the realm of soccer from one standpoint. It was on field, and again, even there, we were the minority, right? So when it comes to like again platforms and how you build a brand or again infiltrate the game of soccer, we wanted to be the proof of concept and then understand what the box is so we can get outside of the box, right? Like what is that next step? Because ultimately at the end of the day, somebody has to lead the charge and somebody has to follow suit, right? And that's the cycle of life to us. So again, whether it be something directly we do or it might just be something as simple as fashion in the game, or again, it could be just music and incorporating it, I don't know, bars or stuff like that. But at the end of the day, for us, it's like you got to be the proof of concept, you got to lead the charge, and then somebody's coming up under you, and that's how the cycle of life keeps pushing it and we keep growing together. So
I love that, and
mm,
clearly a cycle of life. But for you, when you
mm,
first saw that beautiful example of what you envisioned in your mind's eye, and actually saw it manifest in both partnership and product, what did that feel like? And what did you tell yourself now you could do?
Yeah, I think in hindsight, like it was just the battery you needed to keep going. You know, a lot of people and a lot of brands, a lot of platforms, sometimes you don't get real success year 5, year 6, year 7, right? So you think about it, we kind of started in 2017, 2018. So through time, you're like, I have something in my mind. I feel like it could work. We're going at it day and day. It's not a day that it's not on my mind, right? So then you get this confirmation and this blessing to again do the work that truly matters to you, which is purpose driven, and then on top of that you get the confirmation of like, yeah, you headed in the right direction. That means the next 10 years I got another battery to go 10 more, right? So like at the end of the day, it's like, how do we sustain the journey and just not quit? You know what I'm saying? It allows us to know that, yo, we're heading in the right direction, we got the right North Star. It's up to us to cultivate it as we understand our responsibility, but at the end of the day, it's like sometimes you just need that confirmation to just wake up and go again, go at it, and just feel like you got that love for it. You know what I'm saying? Because it will be hard, like we all know, and it's never easy. But yeah, when you got that battery, you wake up every morning ready to go again. You know what I'm saying? And that for me is kind of what this project's done for us.
I love to hear that. When we think about word choices and people say, how
Mm,
important is proof of concept
mm.
and why be small before you just throw all your money at one idea?
I think it's about like things evolve so quickly, especially now. You look at today, you look at media, like it's important to know yourself before you can truly create something that impacts others. I'm a big believer of that, right? So again, I'm going through life where I'm changing a bit of an identity. Like again, I come from playing side of it. Like that's all I ever known. I had hoop dreams, right? So for me to go against a concept and create something that expands to other people, I think it'd be unfair because I don't have a full perspective on what it takes, the needs of the people, the ways, the pipelines to do so, right? Like it takes development to truly be a master, right? You need the 10,000. I needed the 10,000 hours. I needed a training environment to make sure that, again, what I do is for the community and I can handle that responsibility in the best way. Because at that point, I don't think I would be, and nobody is, right? Like you don't want to be responsible for something and you don't truly care for it. Learn the ups, the downs, the nuances, right? To lead somebody down that path. And then what they end up, again, same place you are. Nah, you gotta, it takes time. The 10,000 hours is a very important journey. And in hindsight, what I realized, like, the more you love that journey, the easier it becomes, and you're still gonna get to where you need to go.
Curiosity. How do
Mm-hmm.
you remain curious just as a creative? Like dabble. What is it? And why
Mm-hmm.
is that word important to vision?
Mm. I think the curiosity fuels the growth. Like I think it's very easy to get complacent in a lot of things. I think for curiosity, and especially we took a gamble on a bit of a dark horse at the time, right? Like soccer's still, a little bit underground. It's not the most prominent sport here, right? So it's the underdog in that. And I think for us, the curiosity of finding the proof of concept, maybe we seen it overseas at one time. Maybe we seen it, oh, yo, this soccer player got this sneaker on, right? Okay, there's an intersection there. EAFC got the same dance that we dancing to out here in Atlanta. Okay, there's an intersection there, right? So the curiosity comes we almost as creators we need that to find like, oh, we can peel that layer back. Oh, we can go this way with it. Oh, we can go that way with it. And without that, it doesn't allow you to fully sprout and grow. Like if you think it only goes one way, you're only going to understand it from one lens, right? I think ultimately the curiosity builds the perspective. And when you have that like well-rounded, just more outward perspective on which lanes you can go left hand, you go right hand, right? Like when you understand those, then it's like, okay, now I'm charged to try the concept. And again, you sometimes curiosity leads to failure, and the only way you can truly like get past the failures if you see like the other option, right? Like the learning lesson out of it. So, it's curious to figure out why you failed, curious to figure out why you won, and just keep going, from that perspective.
When you think of creative heroes and you think of a Virgil Abloh or people
Mm-hmm.
like that, and how do other creatives not spawn envy or jealousy, but
Mm-hmm.
instead the very celebration that the creative process and people are giving that creative energy to the world? How do you use those other heroes, creative heroes, and creative individuals that are out there to kind of say, hey, I hear you, and now you can see me?
Yeah, 100%. I think the best thing Virgil did for us, and again, he was one of my early pioneers, and just he made you feel like you could do it too. And what that's reverse translated as is like simply like, I'm gonna pour back into you and show you that, okay, this is my journey. You see where I come from, you see how I got to where I went. It's just the same for the same person next to you. I just took it this way and I took it this direction. So I think what he did was always find sustainable ways to give back and pay homage, which again, one of our biggest things is the ethos in terms of the club itself. But he made you feel like you could do it too. So when you think about the person that's coming behind you, it's like, yeah, I'm a break down this barrier and I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. But at the same time, here's some resources. At the same time, here's this community event so you can get involved. At the same time, here's all these activations impacting my community. When he built that skate park in Nigeria, people were like, yo, that's different. Why you think Africans like the skateboard? But again, that's his way of giving back. And they did. They used it and they enjoyed it, right? But again, a lot of people wouldn't think that unless you truly know who your roots are, where it comes from, and the things you enjoy. So I think, again, he's always paid it back in sustainability, but he's also made you, the way he led his journey and what you believe in as the creator of Virgil Abloh was like, I can do it too. And it's just how you really use that message from that perspective.
I love that. The
Mm-hmm.
club, when you belong to a club, you kind of putting on a invisible tattoo. You're putting
Mm-hmm.
a garb of armor when you get ready to move.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want people to know when they see your armor that clearly we're proud of you designing and giving life to, but just to give a unified front of individuals who'll be joining a club? What are they saying and what are you saying to the world through that
Yeah.
action?
I think what I'm saying is everything I ever learned through on the pitch or in life was done through other people. Like everything I learned on the pitch was through 10 other people I played with. No matter what idea you got, no matter what perspective you might have, teamwork make the dream work. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do anything in this life by yourself, and the brotherhood concept of it is what really mattered the most to me. Like honestly and truly, it was just an outlet for a lot of the people I grew up to find love beyond the game and just make sure your identity wasn't too shaken or you wasn't going through it post your not playing anymore, right? It's a hard transition. But when you a unit and you're all aiming for the one North Star, you find again solace in other people around you fighting for one mission. The same thing you would do in sport. We just found a different angle at it, right? So I think ultimately the goal is like, yeah, man, that everything you need to do is through somebody else and you got to pour into people. And that's the whole cycle of life too, in situation like love, brotherhood, and making sure you paying it down for it. Like all those things are like the way we need to move. And yeah, it's not ego. It's never ego. It's more so how do we contribute to ourselves and the things behind us.
I love that. Big scores,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a
Mm-hmm.
100-point game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a How important is it to just do and focus on that one score at a time for anybody who's really trying to make it?
Yeah. I think the hardest thing I had to learn too, and I think this resonates with the same sentiments, like when you up the score, even if it's plus 2, that's 1 foot in front of the other. What people don't really understand is it's never really the talent or the perfectionism of it. It's the one in front of the other, one day at a time, one failure. Oh, that's a win. That's a failure. Oh, that's a win, right? But no matter what goes around and what you experience, it's literally the motion of putting 1 foot in front of the other. So I think with a lot of creatives and a lot of people, and sometimes we suffer with, it's like, damn, that L took us a couple of steps backwards. We might rest a bit. Or, oh, that win was really good. We climbed the mountain. We got to the top, but now I'm tired, right? So like theoretically speaking, the whole goal was never to like 100%. I think 100% at all times is a misconception because you're gonna burn out, you're gonna get injured, right? 70% consistently for the next 12 years is either time or consistency, right? You're either gonna spend a lot of time getting there or you're gonna be consistent enough to where you get there. But at the end of the day, you still gonna get there, right? So I think that's what it more so speaks to is that 1 foot in front of the other. That's the consistency you need to go, and that's the place you need to root yourself in, not what happens from a result standpoint.
I appreciate that 1 foot in
Mm-hmm.
front of the other. I probably have to borrow that tomorrow.
Nah, man, I look happy to
Uh,
give it to you, brother. Shoot.
um, when we think of the title creative director, did you ever believe or think that you would be a creative director?
At first, I didn't. A lot of it was paying homage to Virgil, actually. Again, when you see, at the end of the day, he was a creative director, but nobody really knew what that title meant. And now that I'm, in a bit more of a business professional standpoint, I see what the role of creative director technically is at a granular term. I think for me, I didn't think I would, but the more I peeled back, again, my pops is big in the 70s and 80s era. He was a B-boy, Run DMC, all Adidas. You wouldn't catch him in not wearing Adidas, right? He's a graffiti artist, right? So he's creative by trade. He's a barber, right? He's a barber in Atlanta, always owned his own shop. But that's where the creative side of it really came about. And then when I understand, like, my favorite role in the pitch is the number 10. So at the number 10, basically you the conductor. You conduct the tempo you play at, right? You conduct which we go left, right, backwards, front, we go to goal, right? So I think it became a combination of two of those perspectives and then it led into creative direction, right? So again, like I've always had a creative background. Like that's always been. I come from a family of painters and artists, right? But when I think about my style on the pitch, that's when I really began to think about the conductor and like what does he do? He creates, right? Like he creates the play. So I think for me, that's when the direction part of it, like which way we gonna go, this is how we need to push it. That came in, and that's what I thought a creative director was. In hindsight, it's really just the guy who controls the creative department, right? Graphics, design, like. But when you think about the new nuanced term of it now, it's like, yeah, you the conductor of the ship, so you the creative director. How we go creatively, you know what I'm saying? So no, it's one of the best. It's one of the coolest titles I've had, and it's something I have in my business. Well, I work at the club now as well, Atlanta United. So again, I kind of play conductor there too, and it just gives me a different environment to do so.
You know, if you were given a graduation speech at Morehouse or Georgia State or
Mm,
Howard, and you were gonna challenge them, what would be the
mm.
title of your speech, and what would be the three things you challenge
Ooh,
the next generation to do?
ooh, that's a good one. I like this question. I think I would title it What's your purpose? But when I would give the speech, it would more so be about how are you driven in life beyond yourself? What are you doing? Because like when you really think about what truly matters in this life, you don't carry it to the grave. Sometimes it's legacy, sometimes it's what you build, sometimes it's the message you carry, sometimes it's all these things, right? So like when I ask the question, what's your purpose? It's like when you stepped outside of yourself, what was your legacy? And what would that truly mean? You know what I'm saying? And what would you want to create, right? I think that would be the synergy of it, and more so challenging people to like, yeah, like you got this degree, is for you, you know, and at the end of the day, you can carry it with you, but what does that mean? Like, what are you doing with that beyond, the money that goes in your pocket? And I think when we all start to think like that, then we owe a responsibility to the man next to us, and then we all collectively as a human race for that part, you know what I'm saying, grow up and get better together and share more love and more, just bonds in general. I think we're really separated now too. So again, I think that that'll help overall kind of just build things a bit more.
You know, there's an expectation in the ATL with
Mm,
young entrepreneurs and
mm,
Atlanta influences everything that
yeah.
everybody really shouting out, look, we're still a creative spot
Mm,
and we all want to see everybody
mm.
fly.
Yeah, amen.
That what is that expectation like when you're in the ATL and you know it's possible?
I think that's the most beautiful part about the city. Like one thing about it too is like when somebody sees you working in a direction, they want to support that. They really do want to see you fly. It's such a tight knit city to the point where like if you got some motion, they right behind you helping push that motion. I think for us is just to understand that like again, we all occupy a piece of the pie, and the greater mission here is the collective to grow, right? When the collective grows, then we can be looked at like, yeah, we New York, we LA, you know what I'm saying? We have our own persona, the way we walk, the way we talk, right? At the end of the day, Atlanta's given us so much as a city. I think part of our responsibility is making sure that we give something back and give something back to the stuff behind us, right? Like I think that it's this building out the block concept. It's no different, right? Like collectively, we have to continue to find that as a creative community. And once we have infrastructure, then our dollars can go into the right places. Then the right people get, acknowledged, for the accolades. Then, you know what I'm saying? It's not this agency from New York trying to do something differently out here, right? Like, and we kind of get this run over. I think ultimately we just need to make sure we got a responsibility to our piece of the pie and know that there's a mission beyond us. And then when we do that, like everything will come up, and then we'll all benefit from that holistically.
Well, Sekou, much love, much respect, and
On it.
continued success with all that you do. Kid Boys can't wait. Thanks
100%.
for
Appreciate you, Mr. Messon.
Thank you. Peace.